Well, hey there, and hello, and welcome to the bedroom of the Dollhouse for another reading from Secret Language of Birthdays from Gary Goldschneider and you Stelfers for August 25th, the day of the unabashed extrovert. That's right, and here we have us, a visual representation of the day of the unabashed extrovert. What is it? Well, it's a mustachioed gymnast or gentleman in what looks to be lederhosen upon a macro examination, fallen mustache first into a feather stuffed mattress. That's right. Hey, is that a visual representation of the day of the unabashed extrovert? Who's to say? Well, maybe the reading will further explain and we can make our connections. Who's to say? But hey, first and foremost, what's more important is we recognize the fact that it's August 25th and somebody out there has a birthday. And so if today is your birthday and it's August 25th, or if today is just your birthday in general, I just want to say happy birthday. That's right. And if this video finds you long or shortly after your birthday has already come and gone, I want to extend you a hopeful thought that you had a great birthday. All right, that's right. I hope you had a great birthday. Now, before we dive in with the reading proper, I want to roll some dice. That's right. And why are we rolling dice? Because it is the DykASSt birthday cast, and for another important reason. And what could that be? Well, for synchronicity's sake, that's right. And we rolled us a 4 and a 2 for 6. A 4 and a 2 for 6. Too bad it wasn't a 2 and a 5, right? Oh, but who's to say? That doesn't really matter sometimes because of synchronicity. It doesn't necessarily have to line up with your birthday. And what might synchronicity be, you're wondering? Well, it's simple. It's just you putting yourself out into the world and giving the universe the opportunity to show you it's there with you. And it puts things in your path, and I don't know, you're looking at those numbers is what you're doing. You're looking to spy those numbers. Your 4 and your 2 for 6, right? Or if you roll your own dice, whatever those numbers are, and you're looking for the signs that it's there with you. You might find it on a bus bench, you might find it on somebody's hockey jersey there. It's just simple little things like that to show you that the universe is lining up for you. And then you follow those numbers and you see where it'll take you and what little things and what little surprises the old universe has in store for you. If you're just open to looking, right? And I'll tell you what, today was a rough one for me. I was out there just trying to make things happen, trying to be open to it all. It just wasn't working out. You know what? I'm hitting every red light on my way to a chiropractic appointment. And you know what? Got there 10 minutes late. Every red light. Normally I make it there with 5 minutes to spare. I'm the one waiting. This time didn't happen. And then after that, things just weren't going my way. And you know what? It dogs on you a bit. But you know what? I just had to be open. I just had to make sure I was open. All right, that's the idea. And you know what was nice is there was a gentleman who gave me his time. All right, and he didn't have to. Most folks, they don't. And he gave me a direct phone number to call if I needed to get in touch with someone to set a schedule. And it was to his desk, so I wouldn't have to wait in the queue. So there was a positive that happened. And you know what? It might not have happened if I was all negative Nancy about it. In any event, hey, that's just all it is keeping yourself open to the universe showing you the signs, even if they don't necessarily show themselves. That's right. Okay, any event. Hey, let's cut to the quick and dive in, all right? Your month is August, your day the 25th, your sign is 1 to 3 degrees Virgo of the Leo-Virgo cusp, and your quality and element is mutable earth. August 25th, the day of the unabashed extrovert. August 25, people have an overwhelming desire to reveal themselves to others, whether in a public or private setting. Those born in this day are capable of carrying secrets around with them for years, only to one day disclose or even flaunt them publicly. Most August 25 people are by nature exhibitionists of all types, but they can play the role of highly private people when it suits them. And although they are generally blessed with active, intelligent minds, August 25 people are intensely physical. And it may come as a revelation to others that they are so sexually and emotionally forward. And those born this day are not afraid to make their wishes known in a dramatic fashion, and in particular, an August 25 woman with her mind made up about a man is not easily denied or diverted. But both men and women born in this day know how to employ their best features to win a mate, whether it be beauty, brains, or personality. Sometimes, however, because of hidden inferiority complex concerning their background, intellectual, or social training, certain August 25 people will overemphasize their physical powers or attractiveness in a sort of overcompensating gesture to make up for their imagined deficit in the mental sphere. But for this reason, vamps and playboys are not uncommon to this day. Yet, in fact, the real strength of August 25 people most often does lie in the mental sphere, and the sooner they realize it, the better. Lessening their orientation toward physical matters allows for a more realistic choice of career as well as a more accurate self-image. But the conflict between mental and physical may be said to be the central recurrent problem in the lives of those born on this day. For example, August 25 people display a strong desire to be admired both for their physical and intellectual attributes, a kind of admiration most difficult to win, due to common stereotypes regarding beauty, lessening brains, and vice versa. Vice versa, rather. August 25 people are capable of using their charm to attract those they admire, but they need to cultivate a sense of self-worth independent of the approval of others if they wish to go further on their path. If they do not, they may be plagued by endless love affairs, unstable relationships, and emotional diversions of all types. August 25 people must discover their real talents, develop them, and have the courage to stand alone when necessary. If falling in love has become a self-destructive pattern, those born this day must use the next occasion as an opportunity to realize how they are deluding themselves. Well, how about that for a breakdown? I say, day of the unabashed extrovert you. Well, hey, I've got some notes to go with the breakdown, so let's dive in. Let's see what I had to say, shall we? An overwhelming desire to reveal yourself to others whilst capable of holding on to secrets for years before then flaunting them publicly. Well, now that's not very nice, is it? Unless they're your own, all right? I took it to mean other people's, any event. Who's to say? But do you keep secrets and then reveal them later? That might be interesting to find out if you do. Let me know in the comments if you do. But quite unabashed and a little unprofessional if it concerns someone else. That's what I said, that's what I wrote. And when you're fully capable of being a private person, and you still do it anyway. Interesting. Quite interesting. It generalizes you as actively intelligent, intensely physical, and emotionally forward, considering it's written that it comes as a revelation to others. That's interesting to me. It means you're really good at hiding it, if I were to guess, all right? Or keeping it from those you don't want to know. Does that speak to you also? Who's say? But for me personally, on account of seldom meeting such people, though I might just be the kind of person people prefer not to reveal that to more realistically, I think it's interesting. It would be interesting to meet some of those people who flaunt it, to see if I can pick up some of their energy, some of their power. Yeah. That said, I imagine it's interesting to witness such displays of making wishes known, all right? Even if it comes off a bit forward and probably awkward, right? It probably would. Probably set me back in my chair there because I'm not used to that kind of display. Perhaps owing to the previously mentioned elements of overemphasis with physical power and attractiveness. But who's to say? I think it's just not something we're used to seeing. People are so quiet and reserved usually out in public. And then when we see someone who's just, boom, charisma, charm, power, energy, we're just kind of like, whoa, you know. Am I right? Or if you are an exhibitionist, you wouldn't know, would you? Because you're the one doing it. Now, who's to say? Now, you know what's interesting, being a tall person, if I see someone who's taller than me, that's when I'm put back on my heels. Like, damn, that must be what it's like for other folks. So it'd be interesting to see what people put you in your place. What kind of energy, charm, and exhibitionist acts or extroverted acts put you back on your heels. Interesting to think about, huh? But what the read does emphasize is realizing your mental aptitude, as it is a real strength and helps you better drill down on what's important to you. All right, your charm and your wit may get you far in the social sphere, but it might not be of any lasting, real, or ultimate value. Yeah, so do some soul searching with all of that. All right, do you get what you need out of how you're acting? Who's to say? If you do, more power to you. But for me, I'd say, yeah, I need to reanalyze what I'm doing out there. A lot of times I don't put any of it into practice. It just goes right out the window. It's like looking for your dice numbers, right? You roll the numbers, and then when you get out there, you forget to look for them altogether. Got to be open to it. But at night might not be of any. Okay, so some very interesting dynamics on this day to be sure. Just don't neglect aiming some of that copious energy and drive toward discovering yourself and what's of lasting instead of momentary value. I think I said all that in the ad lib, no doubt. How about that? I tend to get ahead of myself without even looking at the notes. Hey, how about that? Maybe it's not such a bad day after all. Right, in any event, hey, let's dive in with your numbers and your planets. All right. Those born on the 25th day of the month are ruled by the number 7, as 2 plus 5 equals 7, and by the planet Neptune. Both the influence of the Sun and Mercury, the rulers of Leo and Virgo, if you didn't know, respectively, are still at work on this, the last day of the Leo-Virgo cusp. And the Mercury-Neptune connection suggests that those born on this day may be prone to mental confusion, as well as being swept off their feet by romantic illusions. The Sun-Neptune connection indicates flamboyance and sensationalism, which can make for a dynamic or charming personality. How about that? But can also lead, you ready? To destruction. Yeah, that's right. Apparently, the Sun and Neptune leads to destruction. All right. Those ruled by the number 7 generally enjoy change and travel, but the number 25 also has associations with danger. So they must be vigilant where potential accidents are likely. Now, they don't say why the number 25 might relate to danger. That's probably more on a numerology kind of thing, I think is what they call it. I don't know, it's not written somewhere. Numerology, but something to think about. Go search you the number 25. All right. Otherwise, let's dive in with what I had to say about your numbers and your planets. All right. Quite a bit written for your numbers and planets, as a matter of fact. And they take some time to once again convey an emphasis on the ideas of romance and how you may be affected by as much, and just where your exhibitionism may come from. So this breakdown, more than any other concerning cusp breakdowns, has been the most representational of the different rulerships as well as their effects, despite being brief in and of itself. It was actually quite lengthy for these kinds of things, considering. And sometimes they just do a copy-paste job. It just carries on from another day. And they just change the date. So they personalized it for you. How about that? But I'd argue it was just enough to pique an interest into additional study into the subject. So they didn't write quite enough, I would say. But they just conveyed enough to say, hey, the Sun and the Neptune, they might cause you some danger. And maybe you're like, why is that? So you might go look into it further. That's what I mean. If you was not picking up what I was putting down there. Because I got ahead of myself, a little bit of an ad lib in any event. Hey, they put down some stuff, some details, some context. Not too shabby. All right, hey, let's dive in with your tarot. Ooh, your tarot, one of the more eclectic metaphysical ideologies by my mind. But you know what? It's in the book. It's fun. It's free. Let's see what they have to say. Seventh card, the major arcana is the Chariot, which shows a triumphant figure moving through the world, manifesting his physical presence in a dynamic way. The card may be interpreted to mean that no matter how narrow or precarious the correct path, one must continue on. And the good side of this card posits success, talent, and efficiency. The bad side suggests a dictatorial attitude and a poor sense of direction. Ooh, poor sense of direction. I need you a spiritual GPS, huh? Who's to say? Let's see what I wrote down in the notes for your tarot. The Chariot, a triumphant figure manifesting its presence in a dynamic way. I would say yet another facet that leans into an extroverted nature and warns of the potential dangers despite success, all right? So use your charm wisely, I think is kind of what it's saying, or a chance taking yourself down an otherwise precarious path, all right, which might owe to the poor sense of direction. Who's to say? You know, you got to take them warnings for what they are. Sometimes you can't just be all power and all drive and all energy. You might alienate somebody, right? And that could be a precarious path, or what you choose to do with that power. Am I right? Who's to say? All right, in any event, let's quit screwing around and move on to your health. That's right. Put the notes aside here. Your health, because of their highly extroverted nature, some people born on the August 25th must beware of attracting violence or contracting disease through promiscuity. That's right. Let's pronounce it right. Promiscuity. It is important that they weigh the consequences of their actions, not only pertaining to their health, but to the well-being of their families as well. And those August 25 people who can use their brains and willpower to their advantage will see the sense in a healthy lifestyle. And those who cannot will suffer both physically and psychically, is what it says. The adoption of a diet limiting animal fats and meats is recommended for an interesting dynamic shift, as August 25 people often have trouble with their weight. Moderate physical exercise on a regular basis is strongly recommended. And regular sex with one partner may be extremely beneficial. They didn't underline it, but they didn't have to now, did they? All right, honey, what do I have to say about your health here? I think I did say a little bit about it earlier, didn't I? The potential to attract violence or disease through promiscuity. The first time that they've laid it out so bluntly, all right? It is. I mean, what did I say here? The first time they laid it out so something to be mindful of. One may argue. Let's see here. Perhaps the old backflip into the mattress, mustache first, visual representational image. There it is. Backflip right into an STI, perhaps, considering the lack of even a fitted sheet on that feather-stuffed mattress, right? I think I'm trying to say it's a dirty mattress. It's a dirty lifestyle, perhaps. Yeah, so make sure you use protection, all right? That's right. Anyway, mind you the collateral damage too, all right? Whilst limiting your meats and your animal fats, all right? Apparently. And just one partner for the mattress play, okay? It might benefit you both physically and psychically, all right? What else did I have to say here about that? A lot of times they just imply as much. They don't state it outright. So, something to be mindful of. Any event, let's move on to some advice. All right. You are a valuable person. Don't spend so much effort in attracting or winning the approval of others. Get to know yourself better. Do you like yourself? Question mark. If not, work on it. All right. Hey, you know what? I think that's the shortest bit of advice they've ever written there. Okay. What else is there to be said? Here we're in the notes. What else is there to be said? Probably the shortest bit of advice yet, and maybe the most poignant. I do argue, all right? And I agree all around. It's applicable to everyone as well, all right? Do you like yourself? Well, if not, work on it. You should be in love with yourself, I've said to some people. That love that you give to other people that you feel in your heart, you should probably feel for yourself. So you need to fall in love with yourself. However, you do that. And sometimes you don't, right? Most times you probably don't. Sounds a little narcissistic, but I think it might help folks out. Because if you can't love yourself, how can you love someone else? I don't know. Is that a pearl of wisdom, or is it just me being all haughty? I don't know. Any event, hey, let's move on to your meditation. Let's get back to being serious. Take it down just a little bit here for your meditation. Repeatedly falling in love can be an expression of an individual's inability to love him or herself. Here we go again. Let's do one more time. This is your meditation. Repeatedly falling in love can be an expression of an individual's inability to love him or herself. All right, like I said, that's your meditation. How did it segue so nicely into everything else? I think what they're trying to say is, I don't know. That's for you to figure out. It's your meditation, right? Okay, let's dive in with your strengths and your weaknesses. All right, I think we know what those are, don't we? Your strengths, you're flamboyant, you're sexual, and you're energetic. That's right, energetic. All right, and your weaknesses. Are you ready? Needy and insecure. Oh, only two? Only two? Okay. 3 strengths, only 2 weaknesses. Add away, as my golfing instructor used to say. Okay, let's dive in with those born on this day. You know, a lot of times I meet folks out in the world and I ask them what they do, and more importantly, if they like it. And more often than not, they don't, if they're answering honestly. And sometimes you can tell by the look on their face, they're just answering you like out of what do you call it? Reflex. Oh yeah, I love my job. Oh. And why is that? Well, from what I've drilled down on, it's because they haven't been able to do the work or put in the time that is required to figure out what they like to do or how to make money from what they like to do, right? Who's to say why? It could just be that, hey, they needed to get into a job that was stable so they could pay the bills or support that family. There's all manner of reasons why, but suffice to say they don't enjoy their lives, or not their life, but their job anyhow. So let's dive in with those born on this day and see what people who share your company did with the passion. Well, it might not be a passion, but let's see what it was that they did that put them on the map. And maybe if you fall into the pitfalls of not enjoying what you're doing, you can draw some inspiration from it. In any event, let's dive into those born on this day. All right, we start off strong with Leonard Bernstein, who was a pianist, conductor, and New York Philharmonic, composer of symphonic works and musicals. And I say was, he might still be around, so let's just get the grammar out of it, because I'm going to mess that up. We got Ivan the Terrible. Ooh, this is starting off strong, too. He was a Russian Tsar. We also have Ludwig II, mad Bavarian king, and deposed as insane. Also drowned, so he's probably dead, right? We got Lola Montez, English-Irish dancer and mistress to Ludwig I of Bavaria. How's that for a little bit of a shift change there? We have Sean Connery, the Scottish film actor and the original James Bond. We also have Elvis Costello, a British singer-songwriter. Althea Gibson, the first African-American tennis champion and USA Open Wimbledon winner, as well as a golfer. We also have Rollie Fingers. How's that for a name? We have baseball pitcher and all-time saves leader, AL MVP, Cy Young Award winner. And it says 1.04 ERA. Not quite sure what that is, but you baseball fanatics might know. We also have Ruby Keeler, the Ziegfeld Broadway dancer, singer, and film actress. We have Wayne Shorter, the jazz tenor, soprano saxophonist, composer of Weather Report. We also have Martin Amis, British critic, novelist of Money. We also have Frederick Forsyth, the British writer, Day of the Jackal. A lot of writers, all right? We also have Bret Hart, journalist, storyteller, 2 years before the mast. We also have Eugene Gerstenmaier, was a German anti-Hitler resistance worker and Bundestag president. Theologist. We also have George Wallace, the Alabama segregationist governor, paralyzed by an assassin's bullet. We also have Sir Hans Krebs, a German-British Nobel Prize-winning biochemist. All right, there's at least one scientist in there, right? We have Alan Pinkerton, the detective agency founder. Van Johnson was a film actor. Or could still be one. And then we have Gene Klein, the rock singer of Kiss. Well, that might be Gene Klein. We have Kiku Hamada, a model and an actress. Ooh, the Gene Klein threw me. It says Kiss, but that might not be the band. It might be just an album they were responsible for. Okay, any event. Hey, that has been those born on this day. Your season is summer. Your sign, once again, is Virgo of the Leo-Virgo cusp, and your quality and elements is Mutable Earth. And this has been August 25th, the day of the unabashed extrovert, from The Secret Language of Birthdays by Gary Goldschneider and you Stelfers. I have an affiliate link for this book down in the description if you're interested in picking yourself up a copy and diving in further, getting down to those secrets that maybe the birthday reading itself didn't quite cover. Otherwise, you can dive in with the numerology on the internet there for the number 25 and find out why it's dangerous. I want to say I did that research at one point in time because that popped up once before the number 25, or it was the number 27. I don't directly recall. And I don't directly recall why, so I would have put it in there otherwise. In any event, more importantly, I just want to wish you once again a happy birthday. And if this finds you late, I hope you had a happy birthday. Otherwise, for everyone else who joined us out of curiosity, well, I hope you enjoyed yourself. And once again, your numbers, your daily numbers, all right? Your 4 and your 2. 4 or 6. Remember them, get out there, look for it, let the universe show you it's behind you and it's setting things up for you. Even if it gives you every red light. That's right. I always like to think to myself, there might be a reason it's slowing me down. What am I missing? You might be missing something. But take the opportunity to be patient, all right? I always also think, like, it's preventing me from getting into an accident that I might have up ahead. Who's to say, like, 1 second earlier, you would have got T-bone. Instead, it was that Chrysler up ahead. I don't know. Could be. Could very well be. But who's to say? Take the red lights as an opportunity to slow down. Even if you're going to be late, you're going to be late, right? Just get out earlier. Any event, hey, I'm digressing, aren't I? That's right. Hey, once again, happy birthday. 4 to 2, 4 6. All right, take care of yourselves.